Towering, statuesque, and possessed of an impossible grace, the titanic keeper of secrets, known as Shalaxi Hellbane, hunts the deadliest prey in the cosmos. As one of Slaanesh's favorite greater demons, and a tracker and duelist of supreme skill, it is Shalaxi's privilege to bring war to the champions of the rival gods. Should an enemy warlord reach sufficient prominence for the Dark Prince to become irritated by their existence, a mental impulse will burst in Shalaxi's soul. This is a raging wildfire in comparison to the spark of compulsion that might come to being an immortal mind. It initiates a quest so all-consuming that the hunter Hellbane never stops, running the prey to the ground with tireless determination and the savvy of an expert tracker. The hunter can see fear as a misting cloud that betrays a distant quarry, detect the scent of a spell before it is cast, hear the shearing sound of a mortal's life thread being cut away, or taste the tang of cowardice as if it were a bitter citrus upon the tongue. By blending the senses at will, Hellbane can see the trail of a flying quarry hanging as a swirling line in the air, and can even peer through the realm gate across the aetheric void and out the other side. This makes the Keeper of Secret all but inescapable. Once Slaanesh has set his favorite agent on the trail of a hated foe, death is the sole outcome. The only safe haven, perhaps, can be found in those abyssal regions where little to no stimuli at all can thrive, regions known well to the weaklings known as Ideneth Deepkin. Shalaxi has ensnared and slain warrior kings, dragons, greater demons, and hulking tyrants of destruction. Often, the hunter runs alone, for mortal followers and even demonettes struggle to match their leader's pace when the hunt nears its conclusion. Other times, Shalaxi is accompanied by a pack of fiends, the beasts trilling in joyous abandon as they race with their lopping alpha. At hunt's end, the keeper does not attack unseen, but speaks a challenge so carefully crafted with a subtle tongue of Slaanesh, it cannot be refused. Shalaxi's hedonite followers live in hope of witnessing the grand kill that follows. Some whisper that one day Hellbane's blade will pierce the titanic heart of a god beast, and in doing so prove the supremacy of chaos over the realm's entire. The death of demon kings. Every aspect of Shalaxi Hellbane's fighting style has been revised and perfected to counter the fiercest of prey. Slaanesh has held a bitter rivalry with Khorne for aeons, and will go to impossible lengths to outdo the blood god in matters martial. For in the Dark Prince's eyes, to outclass a rival deity in their own obsession is to secure an unforgettable victory. In many ways, this is the primary reason for Shalaxi's existence, to take on bloodthirsters of Khorne in single combat and defeat them, proving that skill and subtlety can beat raw strength and fury every time. Shalaxi's hallmark Longspear, that weapon spoken of in so many obscene songs and verses among the Hedonites, is a weapon of stunning sharpness and reach. With the hunter's expertise behind it, it is able to dart past the swing of a ruinous great axe to impale the heart. But even with the most skillful of feints, riposts, and shield bashes, to overcome a bloodthirster's skill in close combat is nigh impossible. Because of this, Shalaxi wields an unbreakable living whip. It winds out like a serpent and wraps around the weapons of an enemy. Not only that, the hunter's war regalia is a long gown of pseudo-limbs that grasps, snatch, and throttles like the tentacles of an octopus. Shalaxi has learned the fighting styles of rival greater demons through long experience. The hunter has impaled Lords of Change through the torso before they can finish their lethal incantations, pierced the blubbery chest of great unclean ones to slash through the bleeding hearts within, and outfought airborne bloodthirsters even as they hurled through the storm-choked skies. The Keeper of Secrets has long had a desire to lay low Scarbrand, that monstrosity so powerful he once sought to slay Khorne himself, and has dueled him to a standstill twice over. On the corpse-strewn fields outside Rantula Sigmaris, Hellbane's long spear impaled Skarbrand through the neck, just as his axes took an arm in return, moments before the ebb and flow of a Stormcast assault forced them both apart. Under a burning mountain, Shalaxi disarmed Skarbrand, only for the bloodthirster to hurl himself backwards into the river of lava to evade the killing blow. The incandescent heat of his rage protected him from being incinerated, while a cascade of boiling lava put Shalaxi to flight. Now the scent of the exiled one is strong, and once more another showdown between the greater demons seem inevitable. It will be a confrontation that not only Slaanesh, but also the Blood God will watch most keenly. Shalaxi Hellbane, known as Monarch of the Hunt, is Slaanesh's weapon against the demons of the other Chaos Gods. Able to discern the secrets of the Dark Prince's foes through blended senses, this statuesque warrior has slain 1,000 rivals and more. She is 405 points to take. She has 14 wounds, 10 bravery, a 4-up save, and has a degrading move starting with 14 down to 6. Her attacks are Living Whip, which is 1 attack, 3s and 3s, -1 rend, 1 damage. And that is a missile weapon with a 6-inch range. Her melee weapons are the Soul Piercer, her spear, 3-inch range, 1 attack, 2 to hit. The wounds are a degrading profile, going from 2 to 2 to 3 to 3 to a 4-up, doing 3 rend, d6 damage. She has an ability to make it so it's a flat 6 damage with the killing stroke, but you have to pick one enemy hero within 3 of this model, and all attacks made by this model in that phase have to target the hero model that you picked, and it makes it a 6 till the end of that phase. Then she has Impaling Claws, 3-inch range, 2 attacks, 3s, -2. And it degrades for the damage from 5 to 4 to 3 to 3 to 2. Reading all that interesting lore, you would expect some really impressive and devastating leader, greater demon. But what we get is this overcosted, kind of a disappointment of a demon. You look at Soul Piercer, and if it had more than 1 attack, maybe it'd be worth it, but 1 attack at 2s, we'll be very generous and say it's top profile, -3 d6. I'm not D3, like 2 d3s I'd live with. I do that with Sigvald all the time. It's sitting at d6 where it could be anywhere from 1 to 6, and it's not worth it. I mean, she's a hero killer. She's hunting down heroes, but let's even go look at what they put her up against. She wants to go kill Skarbrand. Let's see what those 6 damage would do against Skarbrand. He has a 4-up save with 14 wounds. The 6 damage would not kill him. Wouldn't even bring him down to half. And you do those 6 wounds onto him, his Carnage is now at a 4-up. Slaughter's at 6. Roar of Total Rage is at 2. All you've done is just make him mad and make it so he hurts you more. It's not great. I mean, Skarbrand has a move of 8, doesn't degrade, 14 wounds, 4-up save, 10 bravery. Same thing. Shalaxi does get a +1 to her save in melee combat, but again, we're comparing this to Skarbrand, who is 380 to take. He has Slaughter. Starts off with 5 without being hurt. But let's say they attack. So he has 6 attacks, 4s, 3s, -2, 3 damage. So your 3s are now at a 5. You can't add to it. I mean, you can cancel out the rend, so you're sitting at a 4 up against 6 attacks, 4s, 3s, 2s, which they could probably put that at 3s, -2, 3 damage a pop. They're probably already doing more damage to you right off the bat with Slaughter. Then you throw into Carnage, who has a 4-up which if you don't know what Carnage is, you don't use the attack sequence as normal. You roll a die, and the target unit suffers 8 mortal wounds if the roll is equal or greater than the value. So they need a freaking 4-up at that point to do it. 50-50 shot of just doing 8 mortal wounds. And if they roll a 6, it's 16 mortal wounds onto Shalaxi. She does have a 6-up ward because she does have the shield, but that's not really helping you at that point. I think just looking at Scarbrand and comparing it to Shalaxi really highlights how a 405 hero killer she's not very good at her job. I mean, maybe for the smaller heroes, like the 5-wound ones, sure, great. But I don't want to send a Keeper of Secrets after a low wound hero to go take out them. Like, I have other options for that. Sigvald's a great one. Heck, the Lord of Pain could probably do it. Like, you don't need to send Shalaxi after a 5-wound hero. Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury, 295, 14, 4, 10, wound, save, bravery in that order. The move starts at 10 inches, degrades down to 6. Got Lashes of Corn. They got 4 attacks with that. That degrades down to 2. 3s, -1 D3. Mighty Axe of Corn. 6 attacks, 3s to wound, degrades, but starts off at 2, goes up to a 4. It'd still be a 3 -2 D3 with 6 attacks. That's still probably doing more damage to you than you would do with the spear onto him. And that's 295 for this Bloodthirster. We go over to freaking... Let's go over to Nurgle, because, Shalaxi is the one that hunts down these gods. The great unclean one. 495, 18 wounds. Not even coming close to half a way killing it with the spear. 4 move, it's slow. A 4-up save, plus their ward that they naturally get throughout the whole army. 10 bravery. Whatever. You got Noxious Bite, missile weapon. I mean, so you could build them in different ways. The Greater Unclean one is armed with Noxious Bite, a host of Nurglings, and one of the following weapons. You got the Doomsday Bell and Plague Flail, or Bile Sword and Bile Blade, or Doomsday Bell and Bile Blade. So, you can mix and match, but we're just going to look at all the options. They're $4.95. They're more expensive by 90 points. Noxious Bile, D6 attacks, missile weapon. Already better than our missile weapon. Well, Shalaxi's. 3 to hit, 2 wound is a 2-up. And it does -3 rend, 2 damage a pop. Right there kind of makes me, yeah, that already probably outperforms Spear, just looking at it. Because you get more than one attack, pretty much, with just 7-inch range. The Bile Sword is a 2-inch range, 4 attacks, 4s, 3s, -2, 4 damage. Doomsday Bell, 5 attacks, 3s, -1, 2 damage. Bile Blade, 4 attacks, 3s, -1, 3 damage. Plague Flail, 5 attacks, 3s, -1, 3 damage. And the host of Nurglings are probably not going to do it. You get 15 attacks at top. 10 if you... Well, no, because if you got the 6 damage straight from it, you still got 15 Nurglings. 5s, no rend, 1 damage. Yeah. So far, the Khorne's heroes, better than Shalaxi. She's supposed to be hunting these guys down. Greater Unclean one, better than Shalaxi. Let's just have fun, and let's look at this Lord of Change. After all, impaled them before they cast their lethal incantations. Let's see what they do. 420 points. The same price as a normal Keeper of Secrets, mind you. Its move degrades. Starts at 12, goes down to 7. It has 14 wounds, 4-up save, 10 bravery. Pretty standard so far. Rod of Sorcery has an 18-inch range. Attacks 2d6, 3s, -1, 1 damage. Not bad. Staff of Zeech, 3-inch range, 4 attacks, 3s to hit, plus 1 up to wound, no rend, 2 damage. Baleful Sword, 2s, 2 attacks, 4s, 2s to wound, -2, 3 damage. That right there already makes me feel like that's better than the spear. Curved beak and wicked talons, 4 attacks, 4s, 3s, -1, 2 damage. Yeah, putting it all together, I'm still thinking, just looking at that, I'm still thinking it's better than Shalaxi. Not, I'd say probably in melee better than, not as good as the other two, but probably better than Shalaxi. And I bring all this up because reading that lore that we just went through is such a disconnect between the two. You look at the War Scroll, but you read the lore, and they're not the same character we're talking about. And it's highly disappointing because Shalaxi is such a cool character in the stories. Like, I want to read more about her. I want to hear about her adventures. I'd be down 100%. But I don't want to bring her to the table. In fact, I often forget she even exists because she's just not worth taking. If I'm going to take a Keeper of Secrets, it's either going to be a Soul Feaster or a normal Keeper of Secrets. But it is what it is. She has a great story. She's a really cool model. I absolutely love that Total War Warhammer 3 took her model and used her. It's great to see. I hope with the rumors of the new Slaanesh Tome Celestial coming out, we get a better Shalaxi, and that really just does her story and lore justice on the tabletop. With that, I hope you all have a great day, evening, or afternoon. I'll see you later. Bye.